Hi everyone. Hey, welcome to week 7. Now y'all know that we only have 2 more weeks of the semester, right? This has been flying by and it is such hard work and you all have been doing a great job. If some of you have questions, if you need help with specific things, please reach out to me because we only have 2 more weeks, okay? So reach out if you need some help. So I'm right here kind of like looking at the module as a whole. But I'm going to jump right into here. This is where I'm going to post the video. And let's just take this one activity at a time. So the first thing I have here is the assignment overview. And I've also placed kind of a shortcut, the shortcut tab on our Canvas homepage. But please read over this several times. Don't think that you can read over it once and know what is expected, because this is a different type of writing. Each piece of writing is so unique. And so get into the habits of always reading over, like calls for proposals, calls for applications, calls for, a writing project like this over and over and over again, so that you really understand what is expected, so you don't simply just miss out on including something. So read over this and let me know if you've got questions. The next thing I have shared here is a student example of a synthesis. So I've edited this down. This was actually quite a long essay, but I edited down and included just the sections that addressed the synthesis or the bringing together of sources. So you could see how this student brought the sources together. And you can see as you go through this that the paragraphs all start with topic sentences that share those common points of discussion that this student found as he, studied and brought these authors together in conversation. Do not open up the paragraphs in with a source or a quote or something. You are the lead author here. Your voice is most important. And the sources, even though you brought, or these sources were kind of the source of these ideas that you gained, take ownership of the ideas. Take ownership of the points, because now, you're adding your perspective and your intellect to the mix, and place your points first. And then turn to the sources as evidence of those points. And so if you look through here and if you examine it, and if you see these little ellipses, that's just areas where I edited down to make this a little more easier for you to read through. But look at how they brought the authors together here. Look at how they include, these topic sentences that if I can highlight, I can't even highlight it. Look at the topic sentences though to see how they help to organize the synthesis and bring things together. And I thought that looking at that would help. So the first thing that we're going to be submitting on Tuesday is going to be an outline of the synthesis section and an eventual thesis. And so this kind of refers back to the outline that you did or doing right now for Malcolm Gladwell's TED Talk. And this is a template right here. Do not include my writing or any of this when you submit your outline, but this just asks you, and this gives you kind of a template to follow, but it asks you to kind of organize in your own head and on a piece of paper so that I can see and give you feedback on, but organize how you're going to, what your plan is for the presentation of these common points of discussion, how you are going to be bringing these authors together, and what do these common points of discussion reveal about the problem or the phenomenon that you are examining. Okay, so read over this, and then after you do this, you will be better prepared to come up with that thesis statement. Don't feel like you have to come up with the thesis statement first and then work really hard to force what you write into that thesis statement. You could always revise the thesis statement. That's usually much easier. And so after you do this, look to see what you have come up with and then generate a thesis statement based on that and place that at the top of your paper and turn that in so I can look at it and give you some feedback. The next thing we're going to be doing, the next couple things, we're just looking at practical parts of the writing of an essay. that we can work on, that I've noticed we can work on. The first one is writing introductions and conclusions. Those are such important parts of an essay. And a lot of people have an appreciation for the introduction, and which include the thesis and all of that kind of thing. But a lot of students, and I've been seeing it in this class, kind of just stop writing or add a couple sentences to the end of the last paragraph and call it good. But the conclusion is incredibly important. It's its own paragraph or a couple paragraphs that wrap up everything for the reader and kind of tells them why it all matters. And so these are two different handouts that I have found, I think, from the University of North Carolina or something, but they're some of my favorite handouts. So read those and share some of the main points that you find really interesting or things that you want to remember. And then you're going to respond to one another's post within a couple days and kind of not just say, hey, yeah, that's a great idea, but describe how you will apply some of your peers' points that they, honed in on, how you will apply them to your own writing. Okay? So that is going to be our activity midweek. And then preparing for what we are going to be doing Saturday. This is another thing that I've seen we could really work on is incorporating and integrating material from these sources that we've gathered into our writing so that we're not just dropping them in whole, that we're not just copy and pasting chunks. It is always so important to paraphrase everything you can paraphrase and then save the quotes for those phrases that are powerful. Okay, if we're just quoting full sentences or multiple sentences at a time, then they're not really quotes. We're just cutting and pasting. So read these over. This is a great handout that talks about the differences between paraphrasing and quoting. And this is an amazing video. It's actually out of ASU, but I love it. I use it all the time on integrating quotes with swag. Okay? And here is an example. Yep, watch the essay so you understand what's happening. But here's an example of what they talk about. And you can see how it comes together and applies that. And then what's due Saturday, I want you to pick a quote that you are planning on incorporating into your essay and apply this swag method to it. It'll make sense once you watch the video and once you read it over, but I want you to learn how to incorporate quoted material into your writing rather than just dropping them in whole, because when they're dropped in whole, they're never integrated into your writing. The reader is reading your voice, and then they're switching to somebody else's voice. And then they're coming back to your voice, and then they're going to somebody else's voice, rather than it all coming together into your essay and becoming your essay. That's really important. So read this over. Once you submit this, you can go ahead and cut and paste that finished product and use it right into your essay. So this isn't just a side project. So I think that is it. Yes, that is it. So let me know if you have any questions this week. Again, drop in and talk to me during my office hours on Tuesday and Thursday afternoons. I'm right there on Zoom. The link is right on our homepage. Let me know if you have any questions and let me help you in any way I can. All right? Have a great week, y'all.